Hi, gorgeous Geminis. I hope that June treated you really well, that those of you who had June birthdays had a beautiful time. Welcome to July 2019, an extremely powerful month for transmutation. And Gems, you are no exception. We are now in your neighboring sign of Cancer here in this month. The sun is in Cancer, Venus moves into Cancer, and we are also headed into eclipse season and the next Mercury retrograde of the year. So I'm going to go over the note that I have for you first before we talk through the astrology and the cards, because I had a note and it's really specific for Gems in July. So here we go. You're waking up from a long, strange dream this month. You're on a new shore. It's like you've been asleep in this other strange dream world where there are people and there are places and there were traumas and things that happen that were so real, and yet you wake up and you're in this new place. And July is going to be a month where you are starting to notice new details. You're noticing the way the air smells and the way the grass feels on your feet. You're going to be noticing new details about how you see and how you hear and what you're picking up on. You're going to be noticing that you're attracting in different energy and different types of people and different scenarios, and that it's all a little bit strange. It's all a little bit unfamiliar. It's all a little bit like you're not sure what home means in the sense of experiencing life. And this is a big moment for Geminis, like a really big moment for you guys, because this landscape is morphing and you're learning to understand it. So you need to go gentle with yourselves this month. You need to go gentle. You need to take your time. It doesn't mean it's going to be a traumatic month or a hard month. But you're mutable air energy that wants to move and do and see and create. And so getting into this modality of just taking things a little softer, taking things a little bit more gently could feel unfamiliar to you. You may feel like you need to be getting more done. You need to be striving for more. You need to be being more. You need to be, okay, I'm in this new landscape. I should be doing all these new things all the time. And I would recommend, with the astrology we have and with the big energy waves, you're going to need rest time. You're going to need slow down time. You're going to need to reset consistently throughout the month. That doesn't mean you won't be living life or doing cool things. Wheel of Fortune. There was one card that would sum up that note and the way I was feeling about Gems. It would be the Wheel of Fortune, because you're in a new landscape. The Wheel of Fortune is a change in the seasons, which we are now, in Cancer season. We just passed the solstice. There's a change in the clock, in the leadership, so to speak. But there are three big things going on this month that deserve to be talked about. It's making me yawn sometimes when I have a lot of energy coming through me. I yawn a little bit, so excuse me. But the first thing we have is a new moon in Cancer, and that is a total solar eclipse that happens on July 2nd. That's happening in your neighboring sign, so in your second house of value. And Queen of Cups. The thing with this new moon in Cancer and the fact that we have the north node of the moon in Cancer and that eclipses are now happening in Cancer and Capricorn. We are healing and nurturing our self-mothering. And for you, this happens in a place of value, of self-value, of possessional value. It's a very tender and personal house. Seven of Swords. This card is coming out all the time this month, and that's because we are in a new energetic chapter where what once applied no longer applies, and everybody's looking around for their old ways. Everybody's looking around for their old self-protective mechanisms and their old patterning. It's not working anymore. Two of Pentacles. You guys are unsure of yourselves in this new dynamic, but having the north node of the moon and this big total eclipse in Cancer is really powerful for you. It's going to hit into tender places for you. And this is one of those places, this is one of those things where it's going to reset you. Queen of Wands. All right, I'm loving it. You're getting these queens in this reading, which is beautiful. It's a sense of self-possession. Empress. Yes. Yes. I'm loving this, gems. All three, the Queen of Cups, the Queen of Wands, and the Empress, they all hold court. They all slow down and let the energy come to them. Let the information come to them. Six of Swords. The traveler. You are traveling into this new landscape. Queen of Pentacles. Are you kidding me? 3 queens and an Empress. Was I saying about slowing down? We have a full moon in Capricorn on July 16th, which is also an eclipse. It's a partial lunar eclipse. And those 2 eclipses are going to reset you in your house of value and your house of transformation, right? And so these houses are great for reassessing the way you value life and death, the way you value mortality, and what you want to do with your time and your energy. These are spiritual, especially that Capricorn full moon. It's going to be deeply spiritual for you. It is going to kind of shake you to your bones a little bit, just on an energetic level. So be aware that you should be taking some time around that full moon to rest, to reset, to recharge. We also have a Mercury retrograde that starts in Leo on July 9th and moves its way back to Cancer by July 19th and stations direct on July 30th. So that Mercury retrograde is going to slow us all down to actually listen to the wisdom of these moons. It's going to slow us down from making fast action, from moving all the parts and pieces around and communicating, and that is a good thing. So that's your ruling planet. And when, you guys are used to this. You have Mercury, you understand the nature of Mercury and the fact that he does move around a lot, right? So you're used to Mercury going to retrograde. It's a part of your deal. But whenever that happens too, for gems, that slows you down from being as communicative and as quick to jump on things as you might normally be. And I think there's a really strong thing with that. And it was just what I was saying. These queens represent exactly what I'm talking about for gems, because queens are amazing. They are creators. They are active agents in life. Yet queens, especially in tarot, queens sit quietly and are antenna for intent. They're not moving. They're not running around, right? They're sitting in their thrones, letting the good stuff unfold and understanding it and listening into it. And each of these queens that we got today listens in a different way. So we will be talking through that. But you are being asked to kind of find some footing within that. Find some footing within that new territory, right? We started with the Wheel of Fortune. It's a 10, right? A cycle is done. A cycle's been completed. This first half of the year pulled you out of something and put you somewhere new. You have a new landscape, new rules, new emphases, new challenges, new things to learn. You're a beginner in this landscape. You don't know this landscape. It's like landing on an alien planet that's hospitable and beautiful and even really good for you, but you've never tasted the plants there. You don't know what the fruit tastes like. You've never smelled the trees that they have there. You've never felt the dirt because it's different. Right? It's like you have to learn each of these new things. So you may feel like a beginner. You may feel overwhelmed by the volume of information you're learning about and taking in each day. And that can be literal. Like some of you may have new jobs, or you may be living in new cities, or you may be in new relationships, and you're having to learn each of those things. For some of you, this is just really like an energetic reset with these eclipses where you are waking up to that. Cancer season is going to take us deep. It just is. Once we hit into Leo season on July 23rd, the energy's changing. It's moving into Leo, much more extroverted, much more go-get-em, much more ostentatious. Cancer, though, is first going to take us somewhere deep. And that is actually where this Queen of Cups is going to take you first. So we have this Wheel of Fortune, we have this revolution, we have this change and this shift. And I do think around that new moon, gems, you will be having some kind of shakeup, and it can be just internal. It can also be something that shifts for you in the real world. That is going to take you somewhere very deep here. So it's going to take you straight into your self-value and where you feel like you are allowed to be in joy and ease. and where you obstruct yourself from being in joy and ease, where you obstruct yourself from just enjoying life, where you feel that you have to carry, where you have to be paranoid, where you have to disarm enemies, where you have to look out for an enemy disarming you, where you have to play a role, where you have to be a juggler, where you have to wear every hat. You know, gems, you guys get teased all the time for having multiple personalities and for, you know, being changeable, and you everybody loves to make memes about you. You're the meme kings and queens. But the thing is that, you know, each of you is you, right? Like, yes, you're mutable air. Yes, you can move through things, but you're not actually supposed to have to be a chameleon all the time and play roles for everybody all the time and carry everything all the time and be worried about having to disarm your enemy or be worried about having to juggle things that don't necessarily always involve you. You know, these are kind of busybody energies, to be honest. But the thing is, they get very confused. It all gets confusing. What's right, what's wrong, who's what, to me, to you. And the Queen of Cups is asking you to look at that. She's asking you to look at anything that has this feeling to it. This sense of a bit of chaos, but of a lack of clarity, a lack of consistency, a lack of joy and ease. She's going to say, what does that make you feel? Is that working for you? Is that lighting you up? Is that bringing you joy? Or is it stopping you? That might seem like a really basic question, but it's kind of amazing how that question can go really deep. It can go to places that we weren't really prepared to ask about. So be aware of that. You know, you're going to be getting slowed down to look at those places, look at those habits, those routines, those situations that feel cumbersome and awkward and unwieldy. They involve this kind of maneuvering all the time on your part. It's not part of that new planet with all the new fruits to try and all the new vantage points to check out. Nope. Where are you headed? Where are you headed, gems? You're headed to this planet that's got like amazing fruit. And keep thinking about amazing fruit. But yes, amazing new fruits you've never tried. You are headed to a planet of ease. And I do think by the time we get through these eclipses and you've asked yourself some hard questions about what you want coming with you, and we hit into July 23rd, and we hit into Leo season, things are going to start getting clearer. Things are going to start working out and lining up. Look at this. Let's just start with Queen of Wands and Empress, because these two ladies here, let me tell you, I love them. I love them. These queens are amazing. These queens understand manifestation, right? They both do not take action till there is something. They take action when it is inspired. And when it's not inspired and when it's not time, they're not running around, right? They sit still. This is Leo and Taurus energy right here. Two fixed signs, right? And fixed signs, one thing that they understand is sustaining energy, right? This idea that you can just sit still, you hunt like a cat. You sit still and you listen close to the ground. You use your energy wisely. And when you're not needing to use that energy, you enjoy and savor life. You relax. You have a good time. These cards are connected with abundance and magnetism, but they work via this very strong concept of you being the center point. So you're not the one moving around to all the other center points, right? You know, Mercurial energy is moving around to all these other center points, but you're being pulled to your center point this month, which means it will feel quiet. It will feel a little alarming because you're not used to doing things this way. You may feel that maybe there's something going wrong. Maybe you're missing a step. Maybe things are happening around you that you're missing out on, and that if you're not taking the time to do it, then your finances are going to fall down, or you're never going to find love, or what have you. There's a lot of ways that you can start to feel the paranoia kick in when you're getting used to being in this mode. However, you find your center point, you turn your beacon light on, and that pulls in what you need. That pulls in what you need. For some of you, that is about making a change. There's a significant change in the background here, gems, because we started with Wheel of Fortune and now we're hitting into Six of Swords. And the Six of Swords is a traveling card, right? You're leaving behind one shore and heading to another. That shore has everything to do with the quality of energy that comes out of Queen of Wands and the Empress. Has everything to do with this sense of self-assured knowing and ease. You want somebody in your life who loves you, they better sure as hell make you feel like the Empress. Like, not necessarily by not everybody wants gifts and acts of service. Not necessarily by rubbing your feet and lauding you all day. But the quality of feeling with the Empress, let's just talk about relationship for a minute as an example. When you're in a relationship or in a scenario, whether it be with family or a lover, a boyfriend, girlfriend, what have you, where that person respects and admires and cares about you, you don't ever feel that you have to be juggling. Ever. Not even for a second. You don't worry about, I have to write the right text so that they'll write me back, or I have to do the right thing so that they'll write me back, or say the right thing, or I'll have to work on this. When I get home, we'll have to talk about this all the time, right? There's a sense of course we'll be able to communicate. I know I'll see them at the end of the day. There's a self-assuredness that comes from being in a scenario where there is just a sense of respect, where that person sees you as a valued and valuable center point in their lives. Not an obsessive way, right? Just that they appreciate you, right? And so the Six of Swords, you're leaving behind anything that looks like you're juggling, that looks like you have to put on all your masks all the time. We end this conversation with the Queen of Pentacles. The self-value queen of all time. Now, if there's one queen that's not worried about running around doing everything, it's the Queen of Pentacles. She is here nurturing her self-value. She is focused. She is channeling source energy, connecting with it, visualizing it, knowing it. All the astrology this month is going to be working with you to pull you into this mode, to show you and teach you something very important, gems, which is that good things come to you via trusting yourself and your value enough not to feel you have to move on everything all the time, that you have to constantly be monitoring it and being in there making things happen. It is okay to be quiet and simple and centered. It is okay to accept abundance. It is okay to accept simplistic abundance. It doesn't always have to be highfalutin craziness around here, right? This stuff is the good stuff. Watch where you're getting into scenarios where you feel you have to put on every single hat, where you feel tired at the end of it, where you feel uninspired by the end of it, where you feel like you have to use your witty, charming self just to get through it all the time. Be aware of where you feel at ease, where you can put your feet up, where you don't have to constantly be on alert for what you're missing or what you're not doing right, because it's going to be the way you're supposed to be going. And anything that feels like juggling and anything that feels like it's unwieldy is going to be kind of pulled back from you this month. And that might be uncomfortable too, but it's all in your favor. It's all in your favor. That's the thing that's interesting about it, right? Okay, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to leave it there at the Queen of Pentacles because, my God, 3 queens and the Empress. There is no joke about what this message is. Be gentle with yourself. Go slow. Everything will be pulling you back to go slow, not because it's not a time of abundance, but because it is. I love you guys so much. You can find me on Instagram at SarahVerba. I would love to see you over there. You can also find me on my website at SARAHTAROT.com. I will be opening up sessions for the second half of the year. We're just working on that, so it might take a little bit of time, but you can always keep an eye on my calendar over on my website or email me. All that info will be in the description box for you. I'm also wearing PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry. She's working on some amazing crowns right now, so I will leave her Etsy shop in the description box as well. I'm sending you guys so much love for a beautiful July ahead. Have so much fun. I see so many beautiful things for you. It's just a bit of a learning curve to enjoy this new planet you're on and to wake up from that old dream. Sending you so much love.